which can be the catalyst to becoming a full-time entrepreneur, like my lovely guest that we have here, Miss Lori Amans. Hey, sis.
Hello, my dear. How are you?
Fine. We've been doing this for a very, 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 very long time. We've known each other for
Yes.
a very long time. And I had to reach in my Rolodex, my virtual Rolodex, call my sister up, say, yo, I need you to impart some wisdom to my peeps.
I'm happy to do so.
And she said, sure. I was like, I'm so excited. Now that we understand, well, we've been in this game for a long time, and I'll let you explain your history and why you're so qualified to have this conversation. But you know, it's different than it was 10 years ago. Remember when we were doing our ATL Biz Chicks? Oh, remember that? Wow.
Yeah, long time, long time.
Long time. And we were really hosting a lot of in-person networking groups. I learned a great deal about sales and marketing from you. You're the reason why I started the Twitter chat, Cash Chat, which then turned into one of the top 5 financial cash chat Twitter chats on Twitter. Woo, woo. They're still asking me to bring it back. There's so many. You gave me a whole bunch of different ideas that I implemented, and it worked. And so, one, I'm so grateful to have you in my life as my sister, but I'm so grateful that you were there for me as my coach. And then just being, you know, my confidant, you know, because I call you crying a lot. But, you know, your wisdom in this business is very important. And one of the things that I really learned is that sales is the lifeline of any business. And right now, because a lot of people are dealing with that, you know, face to face, they have to create virtual opportunities, and they really have to do sales differently.
Right, right.
Can't do sales the way we normally do sales. It has to be different. So I thank you so much for teaching us a unique way of doing sales. A lot of people are scared of sales, which is just providing service, but there is a unique way that you have to do it and the keys to doing that. So thank you for coming on and sharing. So tell us about you, your journey, and then what are the secrets, the art, or the keys to this soulful selling?
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining Tara and I this evening. And we're excited to be here just to share some tips about soulful selling and a little about me and my background. I came from radio sales and marketing, where I was a multimedia account manager for CBS Media Group, which is what it was back then. And I was there for 13 years, but I spent a total of 19 and a half years in radio sales. And so with that position, I ended up working with a lot of Fortune 500 corporations, helping to put together marketing and advertising plans, which of course was all about selling to their customer base. And so I learned a lot about big corporate selling and then the small business selling. And it was so different to see how small business and big business did things, right? So small business did things totally different than the way big business was. And so what happened was, you know, small business owners, if they were really, you know, micro, they didn't have a sales department. They didn't have a marketing person. They didn't have a branding person. They didn't have a sales staff. It was just them and, you know, a couple other people trying to do everything. And so they did not have a traditional sales background and were not astute at learning how to put out a call to action and connect with their target market in a way that was going to really move the needle. And by move the needle, I mean sell something to somebody. So it was something that, you know, when I got downsized in 2009 and decided, you know what, I'm not going to let anybody else decide my financial future. I'm going to take it into my own hands and I'm going to start my own business. And I did that. And essentially, I was excited about starting my own business, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And so I had to learn how to sell to people who need my services, right? And so even though I had the background and the training and the skill set to sell anything to anybody at any time, it was still harder for me to sell my services and my own brand to the people who I could help. And so I knew that if it was hard for me to figure that out initially, then it's got to be really hard for people who have no sales experience.
Right.
So the thing is, I developed systems, right? And at first I wasn't even working with entrepreneurs. I only started coaching and consulting after people started asking me so many questions. And how are you doing this? And how are you getting followers on so-and-so? And how are you pushing out all these programs? And how are you creating this content? And so, you know, those questions really spurred me into the coaching and consulting realm of my business. And so, are we ready to talk about soulful selling now? Okay, so I want to share my screen with you guys because I did just a little bit of a presentation that I wanted you, because a lot of times it's better to let people see what you're talking about. And so I put together a little quickie overview of the essential keys of soulful selling. Okay. And as you know, my name is Lori A. Manns. I'm the Trailblazing business strategist, helping you to get more dream clients, gain brand visibility, and grow revenue in record time in your business. And so the whole point of this conversation is sales is necessary for businesses to succeed. Okay. And I like to use the foundation of this conversation by talking about a quote that I heard many, many years ago. And it was from Thomas J. Watson Sr. And he says, "Nothing happens until a sale is made." And so the reason why sales is so critical in your business is because if you're not selling your products and services, you absolutely don't have an enterprise. You don't have a business. And what you do have is a project, a hobby, or something you just do for fun. So sales has got to happen in order for you to have success in business, make money, and stay in business. So that's the foundation of this conversation. And when we talk about soulful selling, there are a lot of people that talk about connecting from the soul. And of course, you know, the soul is our innermost thoughts, beings, and like who we are, you know, spiritually. And so when you talk about, you know, soulful anything, that's like really getting to the heart of it, right? It's like really getting to the nuts and bolts of what really matters. And so the soul is what connects people to each other. Because when you think about your soulmate, right, you think about that person who you just vibe with. You just love them. They love you. And it's a beautiful thing. It's an emotional connection, right? So when it comes to soulful selling, my definition is selling your products and services from a place of heart-centered authenticity to be of service to your client before obtaining a financial blessing. And because I consider myself a spiritual entrepreneur, I know that when I serve and I help other people, I'm going to be financially blessed because God sees that and he knows that if my heart is right and pure, he's going to multiply what I need when I need it. So that's what I call Loriology. And it is about serving. I want you to remember that key thing about my definition. It's about serving and being authentic. And so next, I want to talk about why is soulful selling important in the first place. And so in order to be effective in selling your products and services, guys, first of all, you have to align your soul purpose with your big why. Okay. Now, if you've worked with anyone like me before who is a strategist, a coach, or a mentor, they probably have asked you, why are you doing what you're doing, right? And the reason they ask you this is because the why matters, right? I can't tell you how many times I've been in business for 11 years now, how many times people say, well, why do you do this work? Or how did you get started? Or why did you decide to do what you're doing? And the reason is because they want to learn something about me that connects me to them, right? They want to know something as to what, how did you get started? Why are you doing this? And what's your motivation, right? Because in everything in life, motivation matters. Like, what is the reasoning behind what you're doing? So I want you to remember these things. You must align your soul's purpose with your big why. And your soul purpose is that thing you feel like you were born to do, that thing you feel so passionate about. You got to answer these questions. What is it that you truly are passionate about the most? Okay. And then why are you doing the work that you do? What is that why? And then the other question is, why does it matter to you? So a lot of times when you ask people why they're doing what they do, they give you a surface answer at first, right? But if you ask and you keep asking, they eventually get to the nuts and bolts of it and like really why it matters to them. Because you could say, you know what, I like to, you could be a life coach and you work with women who have been domestic violence victims, right? And so somebody could ask you, like, why do you do this work? Well, I'm really passionate about women's issues. Okay, well, that's a surface reason, right? But if they say, well, why are you passionate about women's issues? Well, because, I'm a woman and I care about things that pertain to women. And I feel like women should not be bullied or abused or taken advantage of for any reason. Well, okay, well, why do you have that opinion? And then, well, when I was younger, I was abused by this person who I was dating, and I was really victimized, and I ended up being brutally beaten, and I survived that. Okay, so that's the nuts and bolts. You see where I'm going with that? So it's the thing that really connects people to you so that they understand, why is this important? Why does it matter to you? And so if you can find a way to merge and intersect your passions, the thing that you do behind your work, that big why, with the real reason that it matters, that's soul work. That's purpose work. And that is work that is like, cha-ching, that's money in the bank, because it translates into authenticity. So that's what I want you to remember is the power tip. Determine how those things connect. Now, next is you got to remember why selling is even something that you should be concerned with, okay? These are the things that you have to be cognizant of when you're thinking about selling, okay? So for many people in the sales industry, sales is a bad word, selling is a bad word, I don't like to be sold, blah, 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 right? So people don't feel like they want to be sold because they feel like it's negative or it's manipulative or it's sleazy or it's self-serving or selfish or whatever it is that they think. I've had clients tell me before, oh, no, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not selling anything to anybody. And then my question counter to that is, okay, well, do you want to be in business? Okay, well, do you want to make any money? So if you're not a salesperson, how do you expect to get monetary compensation for what you have to offer? You got to sell it to somebody first. So keep these things in mind. For many people, sales or selling is a bad word, but it doesn't have to be a bad word to you. Okay. And another thing is, no one likes to feel like they've been sold or that there is something icky about what they're selling, because it's manipulation when you make people feel like you're harassing them or every communication that you send them is trying to make them an offer. Well, you can't come at it from that angle. You have to be very sincere and authentic about, number one, trying to help them, because people buy from those they know, like, and trust. And I'm sure you've heard that saying before as well. And also remember this, nothing ever can replace authenticity, nothing. So if you are authentic and you sincerely want to help people and you sincerely want to help them get from point A to point B, then you will come across as somebody who they invite into their circle and they want to talk to you because they truly see that you care about them and their situation. And the last thing I want you to remember is Trust makes doing business easier. When you trust someone and they trust you, it's not about selling. It's about helping. It's about serving, okay? And so the next thing is, I want to go into these 5 essential keys that I want you to remember when it comes to soulful selling to make it really comfortable for you. Because see, as an entrepreneur, a dualpreneur, or a business person, you have to understand that selling is always going to come up. And I want you to be comfortable selling your products and services. And I want your target market and your ideal clients to be comfortable buying from you. So remember these 5 keys that I'm going to go over with you. Key number 1 is identify your unique selling proposition. Okay. Now in the sales industry, the unique selling proposition is distinguished by what sets you apart from your competition. That's the only thing that means. Why are you different than Sally, Jane, or Mary down the street? Okay. Why are you different than Joe, Mark, or John down the street? Why are you different from anybody else? Tara is a financial strategist and planner. Why is Tara different than anybody else? Well, she's carved out a niche for herself in terms of financial strategies and tools about financial fornication and helping people to be, strategic with their money and not cheat on themselves, right, Sarah? So the thing is, you have to carve out that niche for you. What's unique about you and what's unique about what you bring to the table, okay? So how are you distinguishing yourself from the competition? You got to know that first and foremost. And then essential key number 2 is you have to identify what I call as your signature trailblazer factor. And I like to roll my shoulders when I do that one, because it really is about that signature move that you do. It's your wow factor. It's that gift inside of you that's different than other people's gift, right? And it's the thing that 10x's it for everybody. Like, oh, wow. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that is so amazing. And so I like to use the examples of James Brown. When he used to do his thing on stage, James Brown would go into the split, baby. He would like break it down, and nobody could do the split like James Brown. And then the other thing he would do, he would slide from one point of the stage to the other point of the stage without breaking a sweat, okay? So you heard and you saw people come up after him and imitate him and emulate him rather, but nobody could do it like James Brown. So another one, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, his signature move was the moonwalk, right? His trailblazer factor was that moonwalk, but guess what? He didn't invent it. He just made it his own. He made it a signature trailblazing move by making it his own, by putting his spin on it. So my question to you is, what is that special wow thing that you do that's going to 10x your impact? That's going to 10x people's comments about you. That's going to say, oh, wow, she really did so well when she did blank. Or he really did so well when he did blank. Or that really took me off guard. Like, oh my God, that was amazing. So I like to call this your brilliant, undeniable gifts and skills. Like, what is the thing that you do effortlessly that someone else will struggle with, right? What is that thing that you do so well that other people are like, oh, wow, how did you do that? Oh, wow, show me how to do that. Or, well, you know what? You can show them all day long, but it's not going to be the same when they do it because it's your spin on it. So that is your signature trailblazer factor. That is something that you can do to wow everyone else. So essential key number 3 is determining who you want to help and how, okay? Everything pivots from your target market. Everything pivots from who you're trying to reach and why you're trying to reach them. I gave the example before about a life coach or somebody wanting to help women who are victims of domestic violence. Well, you got to decide, whatever industry you're in. It could be financial, it could be like me, a sales and marketing expert. It could be you do a fitness trainer, or you are a nurse, or you do some kind of speaking. Anything you have to sell, any industry or niche that you are in, you got to figure out who is it that you want to help and why. Why do you want to help them, and how are you going to help them? And so once you figure out who they are, figure out what is the number one thing that they get challenged with. What is that number one thing that they cannot overcome? They need a solution for, and I like to call this the pain point. What is that thing that keeps them up at night? And oh my God, if they could have one wish, what would that be? And if you get the solution to that one wish, then you have money in the bank, because your whole purpose is wanting to help them with that one wish, okay? And that wish, of course, is based on a problem. It's based on something that they have that they need help with. Because otherwise, if it's not a problem for them, or if it's not something that's challenging, they're probably not going to want to pay you to get any help, right? So it has to be something that's significant enough, right, that they have not been able to figure out themselves, right? They have not been able to do it on their own. And so that's why they need you. So you have to figure out what is your solution to your ideal client's pain point. And essential key number 4 is, once you figure out who they are, why you want to help them, and how you're going to help them with that pain point, which is their one wish, then you have to be able to communicate the right message by using simple words and simple conversations, okay? Ain't nobody said you had to get complex and write a dissertation and try to make it complicated and difficult to prove that you know what you're doing. You don't have to do that. You can keep it simple. They got problem A, you got solution A. They got problem B, you got solution B. So it's about figuring out what is the simplest way for me to tell these people that, you know what, if you have such and such an issue, I have such and such a solution. And here's how I can help you. If you just go here, boom, you'll find my solution to that problem. So if they believe you, right? If your messaging and your communication and your marketing and your words resonate with them, then they're going to believe you. And you don't have to make it complex. And they will take you up on whatever offer it is that you have. So you got to figure out what is the right message that you can use by simply having a conversational tone with people and letting them know that, hey, I want to help you with this problem. And all you got to do is take 1, 2, 3, ABC. And when you make it simple and you keep it simple, people are able to self-qualify and say, oh, yep, that's me. That's who I need right there. I can resonate with that. I can get with that. That really speaks to me. That really addresses the situation that I'm in right now. And I absolutely need to work with you, or I need to buy that, or I need to have that. So remember this about the messaging part. No one is necessarily selling when two people are simply talking about problems and solutions. So if your people, your ideal customers and your ideal clients are telling you, hey, here's my problem, here's my one wish, if I could have this solved or this addressed, and you said, oh, okay, well, I can help you with that because I do so and so and so and so. Are you necessarily selling them? No, you're just letting them know how you can help, right? And that goes back to my initial point. Sales is about serving, because nothing happens in business until you've sold something to someone else. So, essential key number 5, guys, is you have to offer a call to action that solves a problem, meets a need, or satisfies a desire. Okay. Now, if you haven't solved a problem and you haven't met a need and you haven't satisfied a desire, I can guarantee you that you won't be selling anything to anyone at any time. But if you solve a problem, if you meet a need, or if you satisfy a desire, you will sell more of your products and services effectively and efficiently and soulfully. Okay? So remember that there is no problem, there is no sale. If there is no need, there is no sale. If there is no desire, there is no sale. Because we as human beings are emotional creatures, men and women. Did you hear me say men and women? Men like to act like they're not emotional creatures, but baby, let me tell you, yes, they are. All of us are emotional creatures. And our buying habits and our buying patterns are not only psychological, but they're geographical, they're emotional, and they're all kind of other things that go into play when we buy, what we buy, and how we buy. But I can tell you, people buy based on problems, needs, and desires. Those three things are why people buy anything at any time. Either they got a problem, they need somebody to help them with it, or they have a need, they need somebody to, address it with them, or they have a desire, they simply want it, okay? So those are the reasons why people buy. That's why you need to tap into your sales mojo so you can understand who is it that you need to talk to, what issues do they have that you can help them with, and finally, what can you say that makes it simple for them and just like a conversation so that they will want to do business with you. Those are the essential keys of soulful selling that I've shared with you guys today. So finally, I want you to remember this. Sales is necessary. If you're going to be in business, sales is necessary. Back to my central thought, it's necessary. Sales must happen in order for you to have a successful business. Soulful selling is the most attractive, authentic way to offer products and services in exchange for monetary compensation. That is a L'Oreology statement. You can quote me on that. And finally, guys, I would love for you to connect with me all over the internet at I am Lori Mans, and my websites are qualitymediaconsultants.com and lorimans.com. So I'm done running my mouth about sales, and I would love to know, Tara, what you thinking about what I just said?
I think that was absolutely fabulous. I love the fact that you put the soul behind the sales, right? So let people know that it's really about authenticity. It's about if you're being yourself and your why is very specific, it's not going to come off as salesy. It's
Right.
just going to come off as you wanting to help someone. You provide the solution to their problem. And that's what the biggest thing is. I tell all my clients is, what is the problem? And how do you solve the problem? And
Right.
if you're solving their problem, it's not salesy. You're just providing that solution that's in there. So thank you so much for sharing that. Give your website again if people want to learn more and follow you, because you have a great group called the Trailblazers. So tell us a little bit about that group and then how people can connect.
Okay, my Facebook is called Trailblazer Entrepreneur Nation, and it is a private group, so you can send a request if you'd like to join Trailblazer Entrepreneur Nation. And I invite you to join us because we talk a lot about business in that group, and I do special trainings in that group as well as I invite other people to do trainings. So again, that's called Trailblazer Entrepreneur Nation. And if you'd like to connect with me, my website is qualitymediaconsultants.com. That's consultants.com. So, and of course, I have my domain for my name for people who can't remember my business. It's lorimans.com.
And that's LORI.
MANNS.
2 N's of the S. Okay. That's absolutely fabulous. I did want to open it up in case anyone has any questions to the group. If you have any questions or would like to say anything, I know, and if you don't, that's fine. You gave a lot of information, which the great thing was you gave information and you gave us the slides. So a lot of the questions that I had, you've answered them with the slides. So that's great. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, make sure that you put your questions below. Lori is a part of the Dualpreneur Nation and the Dualpreneur Squad. So if you have any questions, make sure that you communicate that in the below in the chat, or if you're watching it via YouTube, you can put it in the comments as well. Did anyone have any questions or like to say anything before we go?
I did. So what I wanted to say, ask, or find out is, so you mentioned figuring out your wow factor. And so I've been trying to figure out what that wow factor is for me. So help me a little bit. Give me a little bit of coaching on how I can arrive at what that would be. Because I'm at a loss.
That you're bold enough to ask somebody to coach you on their free. That's some boldness right there.
Well, just direction on
what is a good question to help us to get to where we need to be as far as the why is concerned. That's an excellent question.
Okay, so first thing, without knowing what you do, or
well, let's start there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do? What's the problem that you solve?
Okay, so the problem that I solve is I help women entrepreneurs who they have a business idea. So taking that business idea and getting from idea to an actual business plan. So I help people monetize on their skill, gifts, and talents. Like I do that all the time. Like people they'll start telling me about certain things and I'll say, hey, why don't you do da 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 da? And they're like, you just flow the whole business in 5 minutes, just based on what they talk about and things that they're passionate about, things that come up in conversations, people who have a business and they want to take it to another level. I'm just able to flow out with information on how to take them from A to B to B to C or whatever.
Well, Lori, I'm going to let you give a detail as to going through there, but one of the things that I can tell, because I'm one too, you are what's called an intuitive consultant, right? Someone can tell you something and it can just come to you as to what they should do. Whereas you probably couldn't do it for yourself, but you have an power within you to be able to see or visualize someone's business, to be able to tell them. Some people will call it a business strategist. Some people they know that it's an intuitive talent that they have that just needs to be structured within that. But that's kind of what I'm getting a sense of what you are, because you're not selling business plans. You're not necessarily selling incorporations or formations or anything.
No,
you're
more
trying
like
to help them mash out the idea to become a reality, right?
Yes, okay. Absolutely.
And now I'm going to let Lori work her magic.
Okay. So when I talked about the signature Trailblazer factor, it basically has something to do with your gifts. So Tara touched on it when she called you or coined you as an intuitive. Okay, so you're basically able to quickly grasp the issue or the gift that someone else has. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes.
Okay. Or you're able to tell them, this is how you can make money from this thing that you do.
Yes.
Right? So when you're doing that, what is it that you do that is different than what someone else could do? Who is also an intuitive, or who is also somebody who is a business strategist or a business coach, or what makes your process unique?
My process is unique because I do a hybrid process. So it's a little bit of life design, and it's their business idea or the business that they already have. Maybe it's a new concept, they just recently started it. So it's actually using a hybrid approach where we set up your life design and your business design, because people will say, oh no, it's not one in the, it's not the same, or it's separate, but it's not. Your life and your business is interconnected. And mistakes that I've learned along the way is trying to make them be separate, and it's not. My business is a part of my life, and my life is a part of my business. So it's designing it in a sense to where it's fluid. You're able to thrive in it and not drown. So that's kind of like the difference.
Okay, so with that being said, integrating your life and your business and making those two things coexist and helping people to see how they coexist, right? So your trailblazer factor is the process by which you come to that conclusion, okay? Are you with me?
Yeah.
So
Which
whatever your systematic process is that you utilize to come to that particular conclusion for them, and you have to simplify it and make it where they can actually picture it, right? They can actually picture the outcome, and they can picture how they're going to get there by way of what you're telling them is the methodology that you use. So just like James Brown's signature split, your signature blank is what's going to take them from point A to point B. So it was fun to watch James do the split, right? It was fun to watch Michael Jackson do the moonwalk. So how is it fun, engaging, intriguing, whatever, for you to take people through your process for them to get to point A, from point A to point B?
I always say that's self-exploration. That's what I use in a lot of my processes. And it's self-exploration and being able to express that which you have, done your work and you've done your self-exploration processes, and being able to express what that is and connect your business and your life to that.
Okay. So just from what you're saying, without knowing your process, I can't coach you on how to say it and how to, do it. Mm-hmm. But I'm very similar because I am a business coach and a strategist, and I can quickly identify how somebody can take their gifts and monetize them, mm-hmm. and make money from them. But see, my process is going to be different than yours because, see, I got a different background than yours. I got a different skill set than yours. I haven't had your training. You haven't had my training. You haven't had my life experiences. I haven't had yours. So we're going to take people, we might get them there at the same, location, the same, place, but we're going to take them there in two different roads. I might go route A, I might take 95 and you might take 75, but we still going, the same way. We're going to get there different ways. So you have to figure out what is your methodology, your systematic approach. What is your process? What is how you do your thing? How you do what you do? How you do what you do? How you doing your thing? How you gonna do your thing? How you gonna break it down and do your thing? That's what I'm trying to get you to see. How you gonna break it down and do your thing? So I got my moves over here. What's your move? How you gonna do it? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. And it really is having a conversation that it's too much that we can do right now.
Yeah.
But it's about having a conversation because it sounds like we're going to have to pull some things out of you, because there's a reason why you want to do what you do, which is probably, it gives more clarification as to how you can position yourself. Right. And sometimes that takes more than one conversation. So I encourage you, one, to schedule some time to talk to Lori, and schedule some time to have some coffee with me. You can talk to a few people that have had coffee with me. So that may be able to help you through that process. But Loria is really great, especially when it's what she taught me was about the avatar, creating your avatar and how to create the avatar, right? I teach my clients that. Where did I get that from? 10 years ago, some chick named Lori Mans taught me about some avatar. What the hell is an avatar, right? That was the most painful process ever. She was like, Tara's not that deep. Who
Yeah,
are
she was kicking and screaming the whole time.
I did. I do. I do. I did. But I did it, but I cussed the whole way. But now I live by it. So anything that I'm doing, I have to create an avatar because I need to know who I'm talking to. Because I'm not talking to everybody. Because
Right.
if you're trying to talk to everybody, you're going to end up talking to nobody.
Right.
Because you're going to confuse people, right? So that's cool. I see that we have Ayana in the building. My ride or die chick. She's up in here. Wonder if she's cooking dinner. Don't know.
I am not.
Ah.
We had leftovers.
Can we see your lovely face today? Okay.
Hi.
Hey. She's taking
Hey,
notes.
guys.
Hi.
And because they are on, I want to give them a special opportunity to share their business. Go ahead, Ayana, share your business, who you are and what you do to the world. I mean, for the world.
Okay. And I will say, since what is it, like the third week, Tara, that we've been on? It's probably been longer, but
Yeah.
anyway, from the first time I went until now, that whole process that you were asking about, like, how do we get to that place where we kind of know our sweet spot, has been actually reciting what I do for every single day for like the last 2 weeks. So shout out to Tara. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, boo.
So what I do, so I'm Ayana Maya, and I am the owner of the Capacity Coach, and I run a tribe for women, and it is about women finding their voice, owning their voice, and then expressing their voice. And the hashtag that we use is hashtag when she leads, and no, when she shows up, because first she has to show up and then she can lead. So we work on lead hership so that she can express her style her way and she can own it. That's what I do. And you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Capacity Coach, and on LinkedIn as Ayana Maya, and website coming soon.
The website's coming soon. I ain't playing with you. Yay. All right. Okay, Ms. Stevens, go on and share again your business and where you are within that and how we can find you.
Well, you can find me everywhere on social media. The name of my business is called The Unicorn Tribe. And the unicorn is spelled with a K, and the I for tribe is spelled with a Y, because I help unique women be the best versions of themselves. And I do so by helping them monetize on their skills, gifts, and talents in fun and aligned ways. So I have a Facebook group. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, all those, and you can find me under the Unicorn Tribe, UNIKORNTRYBE, everywhere.
Beautiful. That is so awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And see, for those of you who are watching, when you do come on, you get that opportunity to practice and to learn. I can say Ayana has been here from day one, and every day I see the progression and the transformation of her, and it's absolutely beautiful to watch. Not to mention she makes great dinners and gives me some recipe ideas. Thank you very much. But my name is Tara Jackson, again, aka Madam Money. You may know me as a financial educator and commentator for different news programs, including CNN, MSNBC, as well as Al Jazeera. And what you probably didn't know, or what you do know, is that I have a business, and we help businesses to grow and thrive, and we help build their online presence through website development and building. I believe that every small entrepreneur, every small business, regardless of their size, should look like a Fortune 500 company, because that is your storefront, your virtual storefront. And we want to make sure we make it professional, responsive, and easy for people to pay you their money. That is my goal. And with these virtual masterminds, I hope you are enjoying them. It is really designed to hashtag keep dualpreneurs in business. And if you are a dualpreneur, you're starting your business, you're deep in your business, or even if you're thinking about stopping your business, no, don't do that. You have a whole tribe that is here to support you. And I encourage you to find whatever products, services, coaching, needs that you need inside of the dualpreneur tribe. We are here to help you. Lori, thank you again, sis, for, bailing me out again.
You are so welcome. Thanks everybody for joining us. It's been a blast.
And you see the things that you taught me, I'm like a child. I may have been kicking and screaming, but I did use it.
You listen. Okay, you listen. Okay,
I did listen, and I did execute most stuff.
I'm so proud of you.
All right, y'all. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. And guess what you need to do? Wash them hands. All right, y'all. See ya.